Hey guys, I hope you're all having a good day. I just want to thank the young adults team for giving me the opportunity to share this devotion with you guys. And so, for this devotion, I kind of have two things I want to leave you with today, and they both kind of come from Moses and the ending of Exodus. In Exodus, we see Moses deliver the Israelites out of Egypt and that bondage, that slavery they were in. And then they kind of come and they set up this camp. And then, as soon as he kind of set up this camp, we see Moses go to Mount Sinai. He goes to the top of Mount Sinai. And he kind of gives him the plan for this tabernacle he wants to build, and he explains how it should be built and all the different instructions for it. And at the end, God tells Moses in Exodus 31 that he called Bezalel and filled him with a spirit for wisdom, understanding, and knowledge in the man of the workmanship. So later on in Exodus, Moses comes down from the mountain. He finds Bezalel and the others that God kind of anointed to do this work, and they build the tabernacle. And from Exodus 36 until the end of Exodus is Bezalel and his team building these things that God commanded Moses to have built. And so I say all this to say, if we kind of look at Bezalel, the Bible does not mention him before this, and the only time he's mentioned after this is in genealogy. So before this, I think it's safe to say that he's kind of like a nobody. But he's a nobody that said yes to God and Moses. And because he said yes, he's the one who's really responsible for building where the presence of God dwelt in the Old Testament. So my first point I kind of want to make is whatever ministry you're a part of, whatever ministry you're asked to be a part of, with all reasons, just say yes. I know a lot of us young adults are in ministry of different kinds, but don't lose focus of the main thing within ministry. For Bezalel, it was just building a tabernacle. He might not have fully understood the plans of it or what it was really going to do. For us, it might just be changing lyrics on a screen or picking somebody up for church or shaking a hand at the door. But just like Bezalel was building a place for the presence of God for others, I think us serving in ministry, it's essentially the same thing. We're here, we're serving in ministry so others can come experience the presence of God. So if you're currently serving in a ministry, I just want to encourage you to keep the main thing the main thing. I know it's easy to get like, well, he's doing this and he's doing this, I want to do this, but God's called you to do what you're doing now, and what you're doing now is your greatest calling. But if you're not serving in a ministry, I encourage you to get involved in a ministry. I know the young adults team, they would love to help you find a ministry, get involved. So if you want to get involved, reach out to one of them. They would love to help you get involved. My second thing that kind of ties into all of this, it hits a little deeper. So like when I teach the youth, I always kind of leave something practical, but then also something a little deeper. After the tabernacle is built, we end Exodus with a cloud or the glory of God filling the tabernacle. And it says that Moses was not able to enter into the tabernacle. And Exodus ends with Moses not being able to enter into the tabernacle. And then if you're reading the Bible in order, he's not able to enter into Exodus. We get the entire book of Leviticus, and then Numbers, verse 1, chapter 1. It says that God spoke to Moses inside of the tabernacle. So kind of think of this. Moses couldn't enter into the presence of God until after Leviticus. So what's Leviticus? The book of Leviticus is basically a manual for holiness and worship in the Old Testament, outlining laws to manage Israel's relationship with God, including instructions on sacrifice, priesthood duties, and moral purity. Basically, Moses could not enter into the tabernacle with God until he was holy and purified. So my last point I want to leave you with, as young adults, definitely myself included, it's easy to get caught up with life, and even kind of what Pastor was talking about yesterday in his sermon. It's easy to get caught up with the things of this world. It's easy to get caught up with distractions that might not even be sin. And it might be easy just to fill our lives with stuff through the week and then try to come to church on Sundays or Wednesdays and be like, I'm ready to get into his presence. But in all reality, we're not holy. We haven't purified ourselves. We haven't taken that time to get into his presence throughout the week. So maybe we're trying to get into a place that we really can't enter into. So I just kind of want to leave you with serve in your ministries, join a ministry, help others get into the presence of God. But then also don't forget about yourself. You have to get into the presence of God. God wants to be in presence with you. He wants to have a relationship with you. So I guess to end this devotional, I just want to say just keep the main thing the main thing.